We were talking, and you're doing a bit of work yesterday, and I think this is fascinating because I found this personally. Is working from home was good for the first couple of weeks, but I found that exhausting as well. I found working from home, and I know right across our congregation, right across Crawley, people are working from home right now, and the novelty is probably wearing off a little bit. Maybe it's just me. I love my family, but working from home is just slightly different, and not as
yeah. So working from home is really a thing, and I mean, like you say, there was a novelty period which was quite interesting, and then that novelty period definitely wore off, and people are sort of wondering actually what's going on now. What, should I be enjoying this still or not? And what we know from people who've been working from home for a much longer time than most of us have been is that there are real challenges to that. There was a survey by an organisation called DigitalOcean looking at tech entrepreneurs in America and seeing how they did well because they were working from home, and 83% of them said that they were close to burnout. So working from home is not a free experience mentally. There are a number of challenges to working at home. I call it life with sharp edges because there are no transitions. Everyone in Crawley, no doubt, hates commuting to London because it's a real beast on the train. It's really annoying. And anyone who's been on one of those packed out southern trains particularly knows that it's annoying when you can't find a seat, whatever. But your commute could actually be good for you because it's this kind of diffuse time where you're zoning out and you're allowing your brain to rest and you're kind of connecting with people in a very benign way, but it's a sort of cotton wool part of your day. It doesn't really do very much, but it does add a buffer to your day. If you take away all of the cotton wool in your day, all of the transitions, for me, I in my office, I always went to a kitchen right through the other side of the office to get my tea, even though there's a kitchen right outside my actual particular office door. The reason was that I quite like the walk, and I had a group of people on the way who I'd always say hi to, and I'd make my tea, and then I'd walk back and I'd have little chats. And I love that. And that was a really great transition between calls or between activity. Now that just doesn't exist. So you have this very, very immediate experience. And it's taxing. It's too intense. There isn't any transition for your mind. And it's really tempting just to basically plug in and then be on calls or online all day doing work. The other problem that people have working from home is that they feel guilty because they think that their colleagues are thinking they're probably in the back garden in the hot tub or something like that. So I think 40% of the entrepreneurs in the question in the survey that I looked at believe that their organisations were asking more for them as home workers than they were actually in the office. And we're really bad. If you look at the number of people who are home working who fail to switch on their out of office reply, that is directly correlated to the fact that they're home working. So they don't feel comfortable switching on the auto out of office reply because they know that they are at home. So they think people probably will think they're just watching Netflix. They'd rather be available 24/7 and actually interrupt their Netflix to answer an email than actually say, no, I'm going to schedule it later. So basically our boundaries are completely shot at home. And we're working for longer, probably harder, certainly more intensively and without any buffer. And the reality is the number of hours we're achieving high levels of work is probably higher than it was in the office. But because it's slightly more condensed, the actual number of hours that we're working might feel less. But actually total it up and it will be more. But it's about how you feel. And home workers don't feel like they're working legitimately very often, particularly during lockdown, because no one's got a proper office. Everyone's sort of squatting in their kids' bedrooms or something like that on a little makeshift desk. And so, there's lots and lots of problems to home working that are already well documented, but we need to work now. And if I was going to advise anyone who's watching, I would talk about creating buffer, create margin, unnatural margin. So, Steve, when I come off this call, even though I've really enjoyed it, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk before I start something else. So, I'm going to do something physical. I'm going to almost commute to my office again, which is just right here. But I'm leaving my office to come back to my office. And it's that kind of thing, like having very clear ends to the day, taking a day off,
Yeah.
still doing things that you enjoy and not feeling guilty about it.